Making sure it's going through to the group. Brilliant.
I can see it.
Yep, it's up. Brilliant. Wait maybe a couple of minutes to get everyone in or onto the stream watching it. We've got a few questions of our own, if that's okay to answer.
Yeah, of course.
And I know a few people in the group, want to come and ask their own things to you, and
yeah.
Here's Phil as well.
Ah, there he is.
It's Phil. Phil Henderson.
I don't know. Is he moving?
It was Phil Henderson.
It was Phil Henderson.
There he is.
There we go.
He's sideways.
Phil.
Well, I can't see him at all.
He's sideways on my screen.
I don't know. I can't see him at all, man.
Yeah, he's...
no, it's gone again. Right. No, it's gone. So anyway, I've got a few people watching now. Should we... Yeah. So, welcome to, I suppose, that podcast we've got going now. We've had a couple of voice actors now come and join us for a chat. It's really great of you to come and, come talk to us. There's a lot of fans, obviously, in the group with Call of Duty, especially Warzone and Modern Warfare, which is obviously, nice. Stuff you worked on. It's just... Yeah. There we go. So, Stefan, do you want to ask him anything or get things going?
Myself.
Stefan, jump in there, mate.
I think my if it's okay, my little cousin Oliver, he's a massive Call of Duty fan. He wants to pop and say hello, if that's all right.
Yeah. Let's see. Oliver, get over here. Hello, Oliver. It's Otter here from Modern Warfare. How are you? Good. Excellent. You play a lot?
Quite a lot, yeah.
Quite a lot. Too much?
Well, not enough, is it?
Not enough. No.
So what's your loadout?
I don't really know. I change it often.
All right. Well, it's good to meet you, mate.
Is it okay if I bring on my cousin Mihailo onto my phone?
Yeah, of course you can. We'll be here.
All right, guys, I'll put the StreamYard link on there for you to start joining, and we can... Is your cousin's gonna...
Yeah, he wants to say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oliver changes his loadout like often as Paul does. Because every time me and Paul and some of the admins, we have like a nightly Call of Duty gaming sessions, and every time I jump on, Paul's using like a different loadout every time.
Now I'm a bit of a camo grinder these days. Never used to be.
You got to switch it up.
Yeah.
You level up like 50 levels, 50 to 100 levels every time I see.
Sorry, guys, he's not picking up. But
no!
Well.
He's gonna kick himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, well, good to meet you, Oliver.
You too.
All right, mate. I got you 6. Remember that. All right.
Right, I suppose we better start off the questions then. The character Otter, did you have much influence on the character itself? Did you get to, decide maybe his voice, some of his, the script of what he says in the game, or,
Yeah, it's a good question. Basically, our approach to any character in a video game, it's really our discretion on how we approach it vocally, and emotionally and everything. We got sent, or I got sent a biography for Otter, so I could see. First of all, he's from East End, London. So, that certainly steers you in that direction to the accent. And then from his background, he had a pretty tough background. doesn't have a lot of friends, doesn't have a lot of patience. So all those things kind of play more into the performance. The accent came, as you can tell, my natural placements. This is my natural placement. So for me to just add a little bit of Otter in there, a little bit, East End London. And then in terms of the performance, he's just got very little patience on the field, as a lot of people know. The script is always very carefully written for any video game.
Yeah.
Very occasionally, because we recorded out in Los Angeles for a lot of these big games, including Call of Duty, they might lean a little bit on us being from the UK on certain phrases, certain things. Sometimes they'll say, "Would you actually say that?" And often, they're bang on. But sometimes they'll ask for our opinion. But generally, the script writers, incredible team, Activision Blizzard and Infinity Ward. These scripts are tightly locked in. It's almost like a surgical operation on how it's executed in the voiceover booth. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly how long things have got to be to fit in with the gameplay. So, you're free, obviously, as an actor to do your performance, but there are certain things that have to fit in a certain sort of time limit.
So can you not sort of turn around and say, "Oh, I think maybe it sounds better doing it this way," or is it just right? This is your script. You have to basically do what we tell you, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. I mean, we have some wonderful directors. With any project, the director is, they're steering the ship, so they know the overall picture of whatever you're doing. So they will often give you really great direction in terms of, okay, this is the situation, and these are very much just off the cuff comments, or you're in the height of the battlefield, it's really intense, you've got zero patience, you've got to get through these, those sorts of guidelines. Yeah
That's a pretty good answer. Fair enough.
It's as honest answer as I can give.
This one, it says Facebook user. I know it's from Phil. He was trying to join. He says, "Can you ask? Do you know why your character's called Otter, or your call sign is Otter?"
Yeah, I don't. Nobody does. It's Benjamin Lee. I don't. Now, I did have a theory, though, because I've been asked this a lot. And because he's SAS, as you guys know, there's about 4 subdivisions of Special Forces. So you've got Special Air Service, and then you've got Special Boat Service. One is land, one is sea, and then you've got the guys in the air, too. I think it's Squadron 47 that support special services in the air in the AC-130s. So I thought, because Benjamin Lee is pretty swift on land and sea, maybe Otter, was something in the field that he might have been called, "Oi, Benjamin, Ben, you're like an otter out there, mate," and maybe something. That's just my theory of how a nickname could, take off. But no, there's never been an official, as far as I know, there's never been an official explanation of why he's called Otter. But I like it.
It is a great call sign, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did you work with the other actors physically, like with maybe a mocap suit, or were you just in a recording booth, or and obviously with lockdown and everything, I think I know a lot of actors have to send in their voice through, do it in their own personal booths, like yourself. Did you have to do something like that, or were you actually, at the studio, working with the other actors?
Yeah, it's another good question. For the main campaign, where they have the cutscenes, anyone familiar with games obviously knows that the cutscenes are all the cinematics of any video game. They're often done on motion capture stages, and they're often done by the actual actors, voice actors. Barry Sloan, of course, playing Captain Price. So those guys in the main campaign certainly did work together on the motion capture stages. The actual game dialogue, probably not. We all came in individually. I actually, believe it or not, I never met anyone on the game.
Yeah.
Despite my interactions, I never met anyone on the game. We all came in, recorded our sessions individually. In a game typically as big as this, there are thousands of lines.
Yeah.
So it's over several sessions of 4 hours at a time that we come in and record for. So yeah, it's again, and that's where it becomes quite a surgical procedure, even on a motion capture stage. Again, they know exactly where their marks are, where their points are, and everything is being captured physically and vocally. Especially on the face. You've probably seen the sort of get up they have to wear with the camera literally right here in front of your face, and all the dots are marker points for all the animators then to do their wizardry, which I still I don't know how they do it. I literally, I can't. I think I understand rocket science more than I do video game production, because it's just how those guys.
There is a lot of work into it.
Oh
Definitely.
my gosh, it's. I joke about it, but it's true. It takes an army of people to make these games, and you know, they still are a work in progress. Even when they come out, they're still tweaking updates, because it's, you know, I think it's as I say, I try to understand it, and I do to a certain degree, but there's that magical element that I think, yeah, but how does it get from that to that? It's just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think a lot of people tend to complain, saying like maybe a game has got, you know, you have a 3-year life cycle of a game, trying to, you know, development cycle, sorry, and then people obviously start complaining, saying it's not finished. But like you said, it does. It takes a hell of a lot of work, you know. And with Call of Duty as well, it is a yearly franchise, and if you're behind, you know, it's a struggle to get back in that position to be a finished game on time.
It's extraordinary. And when you think about, you know, I think it's just season 4 just come out now. That, you know, it's just a constant cycle. They are working years in advance, so that these updates and chapters and seasons and you know, new 1984 Verdansk and stuff, it's all rolling out continuously. So there is a giant team of people just constantly, even for the haunting of Verdansk. You know, what a great little treat that was, 2 weeks over Halloween to bring that out. And of course now, with Rambo and John McClane, I mean, you know,
it's great.
To me,
Absolutely.
I just think it's so brilliant, because the brand has embraced. They're not just gone back to 84 for Cold War. They're just literally embracing everything there is about 84 and the 80s.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Die Hard films, Rambo films, just a perfect fit for that kind of landscape. You know, the Nakatomi Plaza, and you know, it's just.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
See what else we've got here. We've got one from Kyle Lewis saying, "Why is he the best operator on Modern Warfare?" The Otter simp alert.
Well, you know, I always say it's great that this game has so many skins to choose from, so many operators to choose from, depending on your background and preferences. I've always been attracted to projects when comedy's involved. And very quickly, when we started recording Otter, I realized they'd written quite a lot of really funny lines for Otter. You know,
yeah. I think he is a bit of a fan favorite, to be honest.
Well, it's interesting. You know, again, some people are, you know, diehard D-Day fans or Otter fans, but you know, regardless, I think I certainly lucked out on getting some funny lines, especially in the height of war. You know, for him to spat, "Oi, you muppet!" I mean,
typical British way, though, isn't it?
It is. The amount of people that ask me, "Is that an actual real thing that people say, and I'm like, yeah, it is. It's about the most polite way to say what you really want to say.
Definitely. I've got another one. I don't know who it's from. I keep having to look back. How did you get the role?
How did I get the role? Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's a long journey to start getting these kinds of roles because, you know, these are some of the premier games out there. I've been out in LA now for 15 years, you know, just honing my craft and putting the work in. And just like most of the opportunities that come to us, I have a fantastic agency out here. And they were approached by Activision Blizzard, and I got to read for the role. And that's, I say, when I saw the bio and just put this sort of performance together and what I felt Otter was. And unusually, this took about 6 months. Normally, you know, within probably weeks, if not days, if you've booked a role. But unusually with Call of Duty, this was a 6-month gap. So that was a really nice surprise. And what was interesting when I booked the role, I didn't know it was for Call of Duty. I didn't know even the character's name until I went in, because with these big brands and franchises, it's always incredibly top secret. So even as a voice actor auditioning for these projects, we don't know what they are until we've actually booked it and we sign a non-disclosure agreement, you know, to protect the project.
Yeah, fair enough. What have we got now? Did you like playing Otter, which is a bit of a mundane question, and how long did it take to complete your recordings?
Yeah, he's I'll never be as cool as Otter, so it was great. He's a great alter ego to play, and we had a really good time recording. In all, probably 10 or 11 hours of recording. Obviously, that's all split up over certain sessions, because obviously with these war games, you know, and I include things like Warhammer and World of Warcraft and things like that. It's often a lot of dialogue on the battlefield. So vocally, it's very challenging to do these sessions because everything's at high stakes, high volume, and intensity. So they tend to break it up really nicely so that we don't blow our voice out, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And as I'm sure a lot of the gamers out there with Otter know, that he does shout a lot. Watch your fire!
Gives away position too many times.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you also have more, like, do you have more work coming with the, you know, with Warzone? Do you still get like fresh lines, or is it just you've done your thing now and you've moved on, or waiting?
Yeah, we've done some sessions end of last year, just some top up lines, I guess, for certainly for the mobile, Call of Duty mobile as well, and some expansive lines as well for Warzone. Yeah, again, we get very short notice on that front, and it's normally with the last sort of people to come in on that particular sort of production to add the voice, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, the update's already out. So, but it's very important for actors working on these projects, you know, to basically not disclose any of that until the game is launched. Then, obviously you can, but you know, people keep asking me, and I don't mind because it's a natural question to ask, you know, what's going on? When's this coming out? What's that? And of course, you know, we know when you know. That's basically the motto. And, you know, we're very respectful of that because, you know, so much time and energy goes into these projects. It's their, you know, that's their payoff to get the scoop on these releases, not ours.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Diego wants to come in and say hello, actually. Well, yeah.
Hey,
Diego.
Hey, how you doing? Hey,
Hey,
Jason,
what's
how
up?
you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just happy to be here. How's things going
Excellent.
so far here?
Yeah, we're just having a good chat, bit of background and behind the scenes sort of stuff. Yeah,
Nice, nice. Well, I actually had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you.
sure.
You know, I really like the operator Otter. He's great. I don't know if this has already been asked. I wasn't online. What was your inspiration for the character? I don't know if you took any inspiration from a movie or another game character. How did you build the
Yeah,
character for it?
yeah. He came fairly naturally to my voice placement. I think the biggest sort of indication for me of where I was going to go was the fact that he was East End, grew up in the East End, an orphan. You know, a rough, tough upbringing. So that really set the sort of foundation. I was known for doing a Jason Statham impression.
Oh,
Now,
really?
Jason Statham. Jason Statham, he's sort of down there, a little bit down there.
That's amazing.
If he was
Spot
really
on.
doing, if he was really doing Otter, he'd kind of be down in that range. So that's Jason Statham. And then I'm here, so Otter kind of falls somewhere in between the two. He's not quite full on Jason. But so many people thought it was Jason Statham doing the Otter voice, but it's not. It's little old me. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you can actually feel the.
yeah, yeah. But I think if they ever made a movie, I think Jason Statham would be perfect for Otter. I mean, I just think he would just fit that role so well. Because if you've known Jason Statham from when he was doing Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, I mean, that is the essence of Otter. Work fast, ain't no patience. Let's get in, let's get out, go.
Yeah, he's very brutal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Jason, here's the thing. Jason Sale is mostly bald, and we don't know if Otter has hair or not. Can you let us in that secret?
Well, I have hair. Yeah,
And he has hair.
that is very true. Yeah, he does have hair. But I tell you what, if Statham wanted to do it, he'd have no hair.
And well, what else can I ask? I had a couple of questions. Yeah, how was it like to work with other operators, if you have?
Yeah, it's a question I get asked a lot, and unfortunately, a lot of us never even met. Only the main campaign actors obviously did because they did all their motion capture work. But most of the operators we didn't even meet, which was a shame. But it's fairly common in video games and even in animation. It's a real treat when you do get to perform as an ensemble cast in the same studio. You can't beat that camaraderie and that banter and playing off of one another.
Right.
But mostly, we have fantastic directors, and they set the scene for us, and they've always got that tuned ear to know exactly what they need from us performance wise. So yeah, it's not always you're not always working on your own, but certainly for video games, it's fairly common, unless of course you're doing the motion capture work.
Right. And did I ask you to do some sort of motion capture, or did you just provided the voice?
Yeah, not for the operators. No, not for all of the operators. As I say, obviously the campaign characters go into the missions and the multiplayer and stuff, but no, we all did. All the operators were just voiceover.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And do you see any future for Otter in next installments? Maybe even Cold War crossover, since now the thing is Warzone, Cold War, Warzone. So is there any hope we might see Otter in Black Ops? What do you think?
That's great question. I hope so. I suppose that is down to you guys. If they see that a character is popular and people really responding well, I think they've got eyes and ears open to forums and social media and things. So I think that's more in your control than mine. I would love to see Otter come back. I mean, I love, you know, I love everything about him, and certainly, you know, doing his voice is great fun. So yeah, I think he would, you know, he would be good to bring back in, you know, in some shape or form with his own
Yeah,
elite squad.
it would be really nice because we already have Price from 1984, which is I don't
Yeah,
know that makes Price like a time traveler. So why can't we have Otter perform some time travel or just have his dad in there? It's
I
not
love it.
too far out of the
That,
picture.
exactly. Yeah, I know. Well, I all I can say is, you know, the geniuses at Activision Blizzard and Affinity Ward, I'm sure they got a bead on what people like and what they want. And you know, we were just saying to the guys, you know, it was such a nice surprise to see Rambo come
Yeah.
into Call of Duty and John McClane. So heaven knows what they've got in their melting pot.
Yeah, but truth to be honest, I prefer the OG operator such as yourself rather than Rambo and McLean because if you listen to it, it's just the movie clips being
Yes.
put in. I really thought they would hire somebody else, but no, it's just the movie clips put in into the characters' lines, and
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah, again, it's all personal preference. Some people have been thrilled to bits, you know, and it's also opening up the franchise to people that might not have played because, you know, they didn't, you know, prefer some of the characters, and they're big Rambo fans. I just think it's to me what it says is it's just a little nod to that era of the 80s, and it tells me that they're very much in touch with, you know, what people want and the 80s and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all personal preference. That's what I'd say.
And given the chance, would you voice other character than Otter? I don't know, in Cold War, Warzone. I mean, we're right now probably in the 80s fever with Cold War. So how would you see
Yeah.
yourself voicing? I don't know, maybe your impression of Jason Statham could easily fit there because I think Statham was a hero between the 80s and 90s too. So you could easily fit there.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's probably a little bit too young for Statham. I think he was still a Olympic swimmer. I think it was 99, wasn't it? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, something around that. 98.
think
He was around there, yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely in the early 2000s. If we jump a few years ahead, I think we could pop.
Well, timeline's going all over the place at the minute, isn't it? On COD, so
Yeah,
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows exactly?
Time is
don't.
irrelevant in Call of Duty.
Never know. Otter could be a time travel and go back to in the next
yeah.
Call of Duty, World War II.
Yeah,
You could do a Craig Fairbrass and voice a few different,
exactly
different characters. That'd be cool.
That's the wonderful thing with animation and video games. I mean, there's nothing off the table. You know,
I think voice actors as well do have that, sort of privilege in a way of you could go back, use a different voice, and carry on working, within the same game universe.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
definitely a positive for you all, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. What else have we got? I did see a question. How will you react if Activision called you for another role?
Oh yeah, well we're always thrilled. You know, these guys. The projects these guys are putting out are always just so fantastic. So I'd be thrilled to work with them again, and hope that I do. I've had a good relationship with Blizzard as well over the years with video games. So hopefully that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. Go and ask that one.
Here we got a question from Graysek, which is our PA for Ghost. We're probably next PA. Well, he's asking if he would like if Otter will appear in the next Modern Warfare. We know Modern Warfare 2 is probably not a thing right now, but well, he's asking if he could be an operator in the next one, or what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would welcome the call. As I say, it's that's more in your control as the gamers out there and the fans of the operators. You know, and I know that Activision Blizzard are listening, so there's definitely. I can't call them up and go, "Oi, stick Otter in again for me, would you?"
Yeah, that would be great, though. I would love to hear other just this in Activision are about.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, yeah. What's really nice when we do any top-up sessions, it's always obviously, you know, like this, we'll come onto the call and they'll be like, right, we're doing some lines for Otter, and of course I'll just slip straight into the character of, right, yeah, nice one, all right, let's do this. And you can always hear a few little giggles even from the producers and stuff there, because, you know, once you fall into that character, it's almost like, oh my gosh, I know that guy, I know this character. I don't know Jason very well, but I know Otter. So it's always nice, even when we do that, you know, there's a familiarity there with these characters that we play.
Do you ever get noticed by your voice out and about? Do people go, hold on a minute, I recognize that voice?
No, and the reason is I did stand-up comedy for 10 years or more, and one of my stand-up bits, I used to be a continuity announcer for ITV. So I would come on and say, you're watching ITV1 in half an hour. It's Emmerdale. Right now, though, it's Coronation Street. That was
my God.
Yeah. So
mind blown.
Yes. So that was one of my first jobs in voiceover, was doing live continuity for ITV1. There was a whole team of us, and I was one of the announcers. So in answer to your question, when I did stand up and I used to do that as a bit, people would fall off their chairs recognizing my voice. But more moving into animation and video games, because I'm always affecting my voice. It's not my natural voice. Not so much. However, that might change this Christmas, because last year we premiered out here in the States an animation called Piney the Lonesome Pine with myself, Simon Pegg, and Jonathan Price. And I literally play my voice. It's me as a talking Christmas tree. So hopefully that's going to have its worldwide debut this Christmas. So because it's one of the first roles really that's just my natural voice placement. Maybe I'll get recognized from there. It's not something I think people necessarily approach you. If they recognize you, they do. But if their voice, that you just get funny looks of like, how do I know that? Do I know? You know, and a lot of head shaking. And
that's fair enough. What else have we got? Also, guys, don't forget there is a link on the group. It's pinned on the top if you want to, you know, be able to come and talk to Jason yourself. Maybe you've got a question or you just want to say hello. It's up there, and I'll bring you in, and you can ask any questions you want. Also, what have we got? Have you got any funny stories when recording the voice?
There's always a lot of giggling when we're doing some of the death cries. It is again part of video game culture in terms of the voiceover community. They are specifically called effort sounds, and this is where we have to record breathing, grunting, breathing standing still, breathing, heavy breathing when we're running. And of course, all of this has to be physicalized. However, we are in front of a microphone like this, which is incredibly sensitive. So everything has to be contained, but you're still trying to physicalize these noises. And then when it comes to the death cries, so it's always very casually announced, okay, Jason, we're going to do some short deaths. I don't know what a short death is, but it's a 2-second scream in agony. And then we have to do some long deaths, which normally 3 to 4 seconds. We have to do when you're clipped by a bullet or injured, some of those. So it's always very funny because they'll say, loved that. You know, you've just gone, ah! Okay. They'll say, we
That's
love
gold.
that. We love that. Could you just do that like a little bit shorter? Love the death, just shorter. Or that was a great death cry. Could you just drag it out a bit longer? So then,
There is a few death cries in Cold War that I intentionally throw myself out of a window just to hear it over and over again.
Yes.
Because some of them are absolutely hilarious to listen
I confirm. I can
Yes.
confirm that.
to. Yeah. Especially
would-
a couple of the female operator ones, they just a massive scream. You can just tell they just went for it. It was just so funny.
Yeah. Well, you want to be in the studio when we're recording those. That's very so. Yeah, it's voice actors hurling themselves around, trying to do these death cries, but also very conscious that there's a microphone there and you have to stay on mic. You know, you can't be going and then you're off mic. So it's it's almost this uncontrollable but controllable effort noises. Yeah. But practice makes perfect.
Any of you two want to ask Jason something when I'm just putting this link out again?
You got anything, Diego, or shall I go first?
You should go first.
Yeah, you definitely go first.
I guess the one question I've got, Jason, I know that you also played as Techless, I think, in Warhammer 2.
Yes. Techless, completely different end of the scale of his character, the high elf. That was something actually I recorded in the UK. I was actually in the UK for a spell. I guess that would have been around 2015, 2016. And we went out to Hove, I think it was, to record that. A lot of stuff is recorded in London, but that was a train journey out into the country to Sega, who were based out there. And again, just a very vocally challenging role again, specifically for that, because whereas Otter has these escalating kind of intensity of lines, I think there were only a couple of scenes with Techless that were kind of in his natural, you know, I am Techless, Lawmaster of Hoeth, you know, in that kind of range. But as you know, with that game, it's all battlefield. It's all screaming and shouting. And we also had to do, it's very common in video games as well to double up on voices while they've got you. You try and do another 2 or 3 characters. So I also played the voice of one of the Skaven soldiers in that, the rat Skaven. Whew, that was a tough voice. That I lost my voice the next day because it's so raspy and guttural and gravelly, and that's fine if you're just, you know, if you're just talking like this, it is fine. But you're not. You are yelling at the top of your voice, kill them, you know, and you do that for half an hour and you're done. So it's very important when, as voice actors, when we're selecting a voice for video games especially, that you pick a voice vocally that you can maintain for 3 or 4 hours in a recording session, and not pick something that, well, I can do a line in that, but then I'm done. That's no good. Not for video games, because as you guys know, there are always hundreds, thousands of lines and reactions and stuff. So so that's my Techless story.
Because I know myself and Paul, we're like 2 massive like Total War fans. So if we're not playing a Call of Duty, we're playing Total War. I think our favorite's Medieval 2. That's like our thing at the moment.
Medieval 2 is our thing, definitely.
Right. That's fantastic. Yeah, again, incredible game. What I was really amazed with that game is how you can, because of course that's more of a whereas something like Warzone and Modern Warfare are very much you're in your zone, literally. Whereas with something like Techless and Warhammer, you can pull out of the whole battlefield and just see everything playing out and then zoom into any specific area. I thought, to me, I was like, wow, how do they do that? Like, you can literally zoom in to somebody's face and then zoom out to these tiny little ants on a game board, and everyone's moving and shuffling around. I just thought, again, for the gamer experience is just it's just so good. So good.
I think we've got someone that wants to come in. John Halo. I doubt that's his real name, but
John Halo.
So my brother, he has no service right now, and he wanted me to ask, "Are you a real otter?"
Am I a real otter? Well, if I was, I need a lot more water around me.
Well, your room looks pretty underwater to me.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
No, there's a cool looking recording studio.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Aquarium of the Pacific, which is here in, I think it's San Diego, Los Angeles, California anyway, maybe San Diego. Aquarium of the Pacific, every Tuesday night at 6 p.m., they have a live stream on TikTok where they feed their otters. So we've done a couple of things now together. So it's not too unusual to be compared to a real otter. And I get a ton, and I love it. Everyone on TikTok sends me their otter videos, either of them playing the game or of a real otter. So, and if anyone knows me from TikTok, they'll know that I often reply with a little otter emoji. So don't feel bad, John. That was a perfectly reasonable question to ask.
Oh, that's a great reason to install TikTok then.
Yes.
Is that all you want to ask?
Don't feel pressured, John. It's all right. That's a perfectly good question.
Thanks for answering.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
I'll let him know.
Yes, let him know. Let him know. As he can see that I'm not an otter on TikTok. but he will see me. There is a couple of duet videos I've done on TikTok with otters, so hopefully they'll be able to decide the distinction between the two.
So maybe you can convince Activision to give you an otter skin.
Yeah, I know, wouldn't it? Eh? Yeah, so skin.
DLC skin, yeah, people would pay for that. It's starting with your brother.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there you go. That's one happy customer.
All right. Goodbye, John. Thank you for that. What have we got now? We have how did you become an actor, voice actor, and what advice do you give someone wanting to do the same?
Yeah, good question. I started out as a presenter, a TV host, presenter on Playhouse Disney, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do presenting specifically. So I went to ITV and we did some on-camera continuity for ITV2 when it first started up. And that's where my voiceover career began, funny enough, because we'd have a studio not much bigger than this that we would do live continuity announcements for ITV2, a bit like MTV, where we'd have little competitions and stuff, and then we'd link into TV shows. Well, they changed their plan about a year or two into that, and they went over to voiceover. So they said, would you like to continue with us? But it's just voiceover now. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So I just started, doing the same in the same studio, ITV, but now it was voiceover. And then, of course, that led into ITV1. And it wasn't until I sort of ventured out to Los Angeles, I had an opportunity out here to narrate a couple of shows for E! Entertainment. And So I got a visa to work out in LA, and I stayed out here initially for 3 years, and mainly again doing stand-up comedy and voiceover. I say that as a distinction because voice acting and voiceover, they're a little bit different in terms of voiceover definitely is much more kind of continuity, voice of God at ceremonies, you know, Oscars and award shows, trailers, promos, commercials. And voice acting is obviously what you guys know me for from video games and animation. It's all basically telling a story of you know, and narrating, you know, words and telling a story. But I think there's a definite distinction between voiceover and voice acting. So I didn't even start out to be a voice actor. If I did now, I would definitely jump into a very good acting class. That would be my first move. I did acting classes and stuff out here when I came out to LA because I started to get opportunities just by being out in LA and being a British guy at the time. That opportunities started coming to me for acting, voice acting work. So if I was to start out again, I would definitely be more specific in terms of get into a good acting class. If you want to do specifically voice acting, fine. But at the end of the day, it is all acting. We have a little extra challenge, I suppose, as a voice actor because we're often working on our own. You're often in a very unnatural environment to act in. So a lot of it requires a lot of imagination and inner kind of conversations and dialogue. But equally, doing just a good acting class is going to give you some really good, solid skills. But the most important thing you'll discover if you decide you want to get into voice acting or acting is whether you like it or not. And I think just by taking your first class, you'll know if you love it, because it is a very competitive industry. And I think if you're going to pursue it as a career, just like anything, you've got to love it. So I think you'll find out very quickly if it's something you just love to do, you know. And as a lot of people know me from TikTok, I put a lot of content out on TikTok because I just love making it. I don't get paid to do that, but I just love doing it. So even with my spare time, I'll still do what I'm doing to get, you know, as a career. So good acting class, I'd start with first.
That's good. Talking about TikTok, I don't know if you remember you doing a TikTok for our group actually a few months ago.
Yeah, I think I did.
I remember mine,
Yeah.
Liam Meggleton, I think he's called. I think he messaged you on TikTok, and I think you actually joined the group.
Yes.
Which is kind of the reason why we're kind of here today, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because we just got a new group back up after our other one was deleted, unfortunately. And it was an absolute, you know, it was just something that sort of lifted everyone. You know, everyone was really happy that, you know, we'd done that. And yeah, it was brilliant. You know, it's really good. And I'm glad that you do it for the fun of things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not for the paychecks and stuff like that. You know, and I suppose that's the way you should be, really, isn't it?
That's really appreciated.
Yeah, we absolutely, the whole group absolutely loved it. But again, you were already a fan favorite anyway because of, you know, the character. So I think that just sort of added on to, you know,
the hype.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I will credit TikTok in terms of opening this up for a lot of people. It's just a great sort of interactive platform. A lot of my posts now are requests from people. Could you do this? Could you do that? And, you know, I don't question it. If it's what people want and they really enjoy it, if they want to listen to Otter all day, fine. If they want a voicemail, you know, as Optimus Prime, you know, you got it. I'll just do it because it's fun for me too. But I would say the reach that TikTok has had out of all of the other platforms, I think it's by far the most interactive. And of course, it's connected us today, which is great. And it's a really great gauge also to know where you're hitting with your characters. You know what people have enjoyed, and you know these guys behind me from Lego Hero Factory. You know that's a show that's 10 years old now. And yet people are still writing to me on how much they enjoyed that show. You know, I had no idea until now, because until social media is the giant that it is now, we would still enjoy doing our work. And it was only if we did sort of Comic Cons and conventions, but on a day-to-day basis now, we get some fantastic feedback. And I just love hearing from everyone, and I try to get back to as many people as I can. Obviously, I've only got a certain amount of time in the day, so I do my best anyway. But I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. And
we do.
We do.
If it was up to us, you'd be in every single Call of Duty for the rest of.
Oh yeah, definitely. We need more Otter.
That's great.
I think
Thank
we've got someone to join. Here we are.
All right. Okay. Jason, so you mentioned earlier about Call of Duty Mobile, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there is an Otter operator in Call of Duty Mobile. Did you did the voice line for Otter or something?
Yes, that's I think they brought out the Task Force 141 skin, I think.
Yeah, the Task Force 141 skin.
Yeah, so I did all those. Yeah, everywhere Otter appears is my voice. So even for the mobile game, of course, all Warzone and Modern Warfare. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, that those were sessions that we did later on, as they rolled out all the different chapters and things, and then mobile came online. So those were lines we did separate from the main chunk of stuff. I think we also did a jungle op as well, I think, with Otter.
Yeah, I think.
Is that it?
Oh, shit.
No,
My fucking signal breaking up. Fuck.
Are we done here now?
It sounded like Otter then.
About 2 fucking AM, nobody's online, and my fucking net was breaking up. What the fuck, mate? Come on. I'm literally outside my house, 2 AM in the fucking night, and the fucking net is breaking. Come on.
Jason, can we get Heide to work with you as an operator?
The operator lines, please.
Well, I hope somebody's got his 6 out there at 2 AM.
Oh,
no. Back to the question that I want to ask.
Yes.
Why does
what's the question?
Oh shit!
You killed. Go on. Let's get
breaking up. I still want to fucking ask question. Fuck my life, mate.
Go on, off you go. Go on, what you got?
See for yourself.
Yeah, so let's just cut straight to the point because I can't stand this fucking network. Fuck this shit. Alright, so my question is, so why does the many Modern Warfare operators' voice line in Call of Duty Mobile have less emotion put into their voice line? Like, the only operators with emotion put in their voice line I know might be Mace, voiced by Chris Jai Alex.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good question, because a lot of these lines, sometimes they are just more instructional, and I think just because of the nature of mobile, it's not as an in-depth experience as Modern Warfare. So a lot of the lines are perhaps more instructional, or definitely not as high stakes. So there is a difference when we're doing mobile stuff sometimes than the actual the big game. Of course, these are decisions, you know, that are already made by gaming companies and stuff, but it's more instructional commentary than the in-depth experience you get with the full game on the Sony PC platforms.
But it's kind of annoying though. Like, you pay like about maybe half of your salary for a fucking character that should be in a bundle, but in Call of Duty Mobile it is as a crate, and you need like maybe 50 times to buy it to get it. Oh man, fuck the fucking marketing system, bitch.
Well,
and like,
you are, of course, entitled to your opinion, and I hear you. We were talking about this earlier. When you realize how much work budgets go into making these games.
No. I was just about to talk about the voice line. Like, you spend a lot of money for a character that voice lines doesn't have really much of emotion into it.
Okay. All right. Does that? I mean, does it take away from the gameplay itself, or give me a specific case?
I don't know. I mean, emotion in voice line is just adds to the gameplay. You know, like many of the mobile gamers, they doesn't even care about it, but most of us do. Like emotion in voice line.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak for the company, and I can't speak for the game in general. I just know that as far as a voice actor is concerned, our approach is exactly the same, regardless. So what decisions are made past that, I can't comment on. But just know from an actor's point of view, we don't deem anything less important in terms of our performance. So I hope that answers your question.
Fully answered my question. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate.
Thank you for that. Right. I think we've got a group favourite, Graysick. He's wanted to join. There he is.
Good connection. There we are.
Hopefully.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
You're on.
At the start, I want to apologize for my bad English.
It's good so far.
As long as you've got a decent connection.
All right, Jason, I want to ask you one thing. Because Otter has a skin in Modern Warfare called TF141. Does that mean he will become a member of Task Force 141?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I've had this asked before. Well, again, you guys probably know before I do whether these things are going to happen, but I would think it would be a fairly logical sidestep to actually be in the Task Force 141. Yeah, that might be something they have planned, but as I say, you guys know almost before I do, so it's not something I can definitively say yes. But it's a good question, and I do get that quite a lot, and it does seem very logical that maybe sometime in the future he will actually be in the Task Force 141. Good question.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Is that it, Graysick? Yeah. Okay.
Graysick's gone dark.
Amazing.
He's a big fan of the character Ghost. He's
Yeah.
quite well known in the group for it. So.
Okay.
He even has his own hashtag.
Oh yeah.
What else we got? Graysick's still in there. Yeah, you guys can still join if you want to. What other questions have we got? I know I have got some. What would be your dream job?
My dream job, I think probably, because I have been a lifelong Star Wars fan, as you can probably get an indication.
No, I didn't. I couldn't notice.
Nothing there. Yeah, probably anything in the Star Wars universe. I was very fortunate to play Admiral Ozzel in the Lego Star Wars movie. But yes, I would. That would probably. I think when I know this from other voice actors and actors, when you're actually fans of something too, that those are your kind of dream jobs. I also got to play a voice in Star Trek Discovery as the ship computer voice for one of the Section 31 stealth ships. And those are kind of the real pinch me moments that you're like, wow, I'm a fan of this show, and now I get to be in it. Wow, so yeah, I would say probably anything Star Wars, a droid, a creature, an actual human being. Who cares? Or a ship computer. I mean, it's just all good. Yeah.
Fair enough. Any of you guys want to ask Jason anything else other than anything not Call of Duty related? Obviously, we're all here because of Piney. It's, this is the reason why we're here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What is that show? Was it a show or film?
It's a short film, and it premiered out here on Disney Channel last Christmas. It's a Christmas movie, and I play a talking Christmas tree, which is quite the contrast from Otter. But it's a great example of the reason why a lot of us voice actors love what we do, because the diversity of characters that we get to play doesn't often happen in the on-camera acting world unless you're Johnny Depp. So we get to play creatures and spaceships, computer voices, Christmas trees, SAS soldiers. It's such a mosh pit of characters. But yeah, that's if anyone wants to see a clip of that to see that I'm not going mad, if they go onto my website, official jasonanthony.com, they can see a page for Piney, and I play alongside the incredible Simon Pegg. Of course, we all know and love Simon from, oh my gosh, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, the list goes on.
The Voice even.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And Jonathan Pryce from Two Popes, Oscar-nominated actor Jonathan Pryce plays a Grandpa Sid in this show. So that's something to look out for. Also, what's coming out, hopefully, I think this summer, is a movie with J.K. Simmons. Some of you might know him from the Spider-Verse and DC. We're doing a film called Marmaduke, which is based on the comic strip of the Great Dane. That's it. Yep, exactly. So there's a new Pete Davidson. I don't know if you guys are so familiar with Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live. He's the blonde-haired guy in the new Suicide Squad movie. He's the blonde-haired guy. You'll recognize him when you see him. He plays the voice of Marmaduke. So it's an animated feature with J.K. Simmons, Pete Davidson, and an incredible cast in that. So that's coming out this summer. I am working on another couple of very, very big video games, but I cannot talk about them. But I'm looking forward to be able to announce those, at some time in the future.
I think we'll all be looking forward to hearing you. I think we'll be having to buy every single game now to make sure we know your voice is coming.
Thank you.
I'm down with that. But can you tell us at least the genres of these games? Like, are they going to be terror? They're going to be shooters? Can you let us know that?
I probably can't even give away the genre at this stage.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for sure, you'll know them.
We'll be on the lookout for them.
Yeah. They won't fly under the radar. These won't be fly under the radar ones. So yeah.
Well, definitely something to keep a lookout for then.
Yes.
Okay. Can you say you owe me $5 Price in the Otter voice, which is, I think, your own voice anyway, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oi, Price! You owe me $5. Cough up. Or if you're in England, you owe me £5, mate. A deep sea diver. Hand it over.
Amazing. Amazing.
Just trying to have a flick through. I think a lot of these questions that have been asked, I think you've already pretty much covered them all. Are there any roles you've turned down as for voice acting or acting? Anything that you maybe regret turning down or?
No, normally I think when you see work come in, before you even audition for something, that is the point to kind of say whether it's in line with what you want to be represented as. So I haven't turned down a role because basically once I audition for a role, I'm kind of committing myself to the project and if I'm chosen. So the time there have been a few things that just haven't been in alignment with what I want to do or who I am as a person. And I just, very gracefully, because I'm always grateful for the opportunities, just say, this is, not something that falls in line with what I want to do, but I appreciate it. So, yeah, there have been a few. I'm sure everyone's got some stories, but I haven't had any regrets, of stuff that I've turned down and thought, oh, no, wish I'd have done that. Thankfully.
I did see another question actually up here somewhere. Do you play games much yourself? And if so, did anyone help inspire how Otter turned out?
Yeah,
any game characters that you like yourself in other games, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't actually play any games. I've been voicing games now for 10 years, and I'm someone that even if I'm in a game, I still like to research it. I still love seeing other people. People send me clips all the time of Otter and of Techless and stuff. So I really do enjoy seeing people using the character. At the moment, for me, it's more of a time issue. The spare time I did have now is sort of poured into TikTok and stuff. I mean, I would love to. At some point, somebody's going to have a setup. I'll go to their house and I'll jump on as Otter, and do some. Do they call it voice trolling? As Otter, it would be great fun. And people asking me all the time, "Oh, I'd love to run with you," and stuff. And I just wish I had more time to do it because I think it is a blast. I don't think I'd last 5 seconds though, because I mean, everything I've seen of that game, it's like, wow, you guys are just so proficient at it. It's just unbelievable. I would be just literally like live bait to a shark. I'd just be like, it's over. But I definitely will jump on one day for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. I think everyone would love to see an Otter live stream anyway.
Yeah, it would be a lot. It'd be good to have us all, maybe at a Comic-Con or something, to have all the operators on playing live. Would be a good laugh.
Are you Team Mara or Team Rose?
Oh, interesting. Probably I don't take sides at all. I don't think. I always say if I'm on the battlefield and somebody turns up, I don't care who it is. If they're on my side, that's good for me. So, yeah, that's my diplomatic approach.
I know rose skins in general do get a kind of a sort of a bad name because of the advantage I feel that people have. It's definitely something that has been talked about quite a lot.
Well, I have a question for you guys, because I heard when they redid the 84 Verdansk that they slightly amended the Rose skin. Is that true? So that she's not so blacked out?
I think they did try. I don't think it's made much difference. But I don't personally play Warzone. I play Cold War more. So I think maybe, Diego or Stefan might be able to answer that a bit better.
Nope.
Nope.
Same shit.
Still the same. Well, all I've seen now is everyone rolling out as Rose, with the Rose skin. Just the entire units all in the Rose skin. So, I guess if you can't beat them, join them. But I definitely, these are things that can't be anticipated, really. I mean, again, so much goes into the development and creation, and some things just happen that are unforeseen. And I know there was a lot of frustration and stuff, but it's not a perfect science, and people have worked their way around it and stuff. But it's definitely something I know, of course, with this, that they'll now be aware in the future. So
definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we got. Who asked that? Team D-Day or Team Wyatt?
Wow. If I was playing, I'd probably be D-Day. But Wyatt's about Otter's only friend he's got. So, I definitely have to have his 6. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. As Otter, I would definitely be Wyatt. As me, I'd probably be D-Day.
That's fair enough. Probably just one last question. We'll let you go if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
What hobbies do you have outside of your work? What do you like to do to keep sort of busy?
Yeah, I do. The gym's just opened up again, thankfully here. So I've had a home gym here, but it's not quite the same. So I'm a bit of a gym rat. I love going to the gym every day. A bit of cycling, not on the roads though. Too dangerous these days, road cycling for me. So off-roading, mountain biking. I like gardening. I like to get out there. We've got not a big garden here, but big enough. So I enjoy getting out in the fresh air, in a bit of nature. I like doing DIY. I've got my toolkits. I've got my DeWalt set of tools and power saws and bench saws. So I love building stuff. I want to call it a hobby, but it's also become part of my work, and that is TikTok. You know, I love doing all the graphic work. You know, as I'm sure a lot of TikTok creators out there will appreciate, you are now the entire studio. So you're the writer, you're the performer, you're the editor, you're the graphics guy. So that's, even though it feels more part of a job description, it's still kind of, I treat it as a hobby as well, because I enjoy it so much. So yeah, with all that, there's not much time left in the day.
I would have never taken you for a gardening guy, but
I know. I love gardening. I know. Otter with a pair of pruning shears. Oi, watch out! I've got a fly mow.
And do you grow something in your garden, like, I don't know, oranges or?
Yes,
or...
we've got. Check this out. We've got oranges, lemons, dates. We've got avocados. We've got an avocado tree. We grow potatoes. We've got tomatoes, and we've got blueberries.
Amazing. Well,
Otter's never going to go hungry.
No, you can bet on that. He can even go vegan if he wants.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a nice, you know what's really nice though, guys, is because our world is so digital now, and it's all great. I love it. But it's especially nice to get into, even if it's your garden or a park, it's so nice just to get away from technology. And I mean that in a nice way. Just, you know, the energy and the focus of everything. It's just nice to just kind of get away. And the garden is definitely the most accessible place, especially with lockdown. We really got into the gardening, especially through lockdown. We started to grow stuff, you know, and really, I think a lot of people turned to their garden then as a different source of entertainment rather than just, got to mow the lawn, or, you know, people really embraced it more.
Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest with you. I still don't like gardening. I have my garden right downstairs. I hate it.
I get it. I know.
But we have spinach. My mother makes some great spinach soup with that, so I'm good with it. And we have oranges too, so and that's how we can relate.
Homegrown, mate. I tell you, you can't beat it. The taste is so good. So I'm sounding like Gordon Ramsay now.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Bloody lovely. It's bloody
Where's
lovely.
the lamb sauce? Jason, can you say where's the lamb sauce in your other voice?
Where's the lamb sauce? Get out of my bloody kitchen, right?
I think that's a perfect way to end this. Like, honestly, thank you so much for spending the time with us. It's been an absolute blast with us.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Big hug, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you so much.
To everyone out there, thank you for supporting Otter and supporting me. And you know where to find me on TikTok, the Jason Anthony. That's my social media hangout these days.
I've got don't forget, guys, the links are in the description of this, so make sure you go over and subscribe to him. Brilliant.
And you're in the group, so if you want it, you can post that too.
Yeah, you can post whatever you want in the group.
Oh,
You'll
yeah,
always,
of course. Yeah.
anytime.
Oh yeah, I'll post some stuff that I've been putting out. A lot of requests coming in for notification sounds for phones and ringtones, and people wanted Otter alarms. So yeah, I'll post a few in the in.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome to.
on
Definitely,
the page. Yeah, that'd be great.
definitely.
Well,
Brilliant.
thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on again. It's been absolutely brilliant.
No worries. No worries.
Right.
We'll see you on the battlefield.
Amazing. Thanks,
Well,
Jason. Have a
thank you.
great one.
Going
ya.
dark.
Bye.